Honest. I'm gonna give it to you honest. I ain't trying to be lying, ducking, hiding, hurting nobody's feelings.
Are you surprised by the evidence that's already coming out in the criminal trial?
No, I'm not surprised. I experienced some of those things. Witnessed violence.
It was a relationship straight out of a Hollywood dream. Luxurious vacations to private islands, glittering appearances on red carpets, and gifts so extravagant they made headlines worldwide. Young Miami and Sean Diddy Combs were the couple everyone envied. We watched as they flaunted their whirlwind romance, a $500,000 shopping spree here, a custom diamond necklace there, and even a private jet trip just for a dinner date. Their chemistry seemed electric, their bond unshakable. But behind the curtain of opulence, something far darker lurked. And now, the truth is unraveling in a way that has left the entertainment world in shock.
We gonna simplify it for everybody. On this run right here, we gonna go with Diddy.
And that's final.
Yeah, that's final, but you...
The dream shattered with a single jaw-dropping accusation. Young Miami, a rising star in her own right, has claimed that Diddy knowingly infected her and potentially others with HIV. Yes, you heard that right. This isn't just another messy breakup or a tabloid spat. This is a betrayal of the highest order, one that cuts deeper than any cheating scandal or legal dispute. This is not just a breakup, it's a scandal that could destroy one of music's most powerful figures. Those were the words of one insider close to the situation, and they couldn't be more accurate. Diddy, the man who built an empire on being larger than life, now finds himself at the center of allegations that could dismantle everything he's worked for. It all started with a cryptic tweet. "I'm not sharing my next man," Young Miami posted. Fans initially brushed it off as playful shade, maybe even a subtle jab at Diddy's well-documented history of sharing his affections. But whispers quickly began to circulate that something more sinister was at play. Those whispers grew louder when rumors emerged about her alleged new flame, NFL star Stefon Diggs. According to sources, Diggs reportedly insisted that Young Miami get tested before they could take the relationship further. And that's when everything came crashing down. The results, as the story goes, came back positive, and the fallout was immediate, both in her personal life and in the public eye.
Today, in a New York federal courtroom, Sean Diddy Combs told the judge he was, quote, a little nervous. The rap mogul's criminal trial began this morning. He is trafficking, racketeering, and more.
The betrayal here isn't just emotional, it's physical, and it's devastating. How could someone as powerful and calculated as Diddy, a man with access to the best medical care and resources in the world, allow this to happen? Worse, how could he knowingly put others at risk? The revelations have left fans reeling, questioning everything they thought they knew about the mogul who was once revered as a pioneer in the music industry. This isn't just about Young Miami anymore. It's about trust, power, and the secrets that those at the top are willing to keep hidden. But this scandal doesn't exist in a vacuum. In fact, whispers about Diddy's alleged health status have been swirling in Hollywood for years. The sudden weight changes, the mysterious hospital visits, and the persistent refusal to address the rumors, it all starts to paint a picture of a man living behind a carefully constructed facade. And then there's the leaked prison medical record from years ago, which some claim suggested he had tested positive for HIV. While nothing has been confirmed publicly, the growing pile of speculation is too much to ignore. Could it be that this open secret in Hollywood is finally seeing the light of day?
Dishonest, violent, horrible. A promiscuous swinger who lied to and cheated on multiple partners. Incredibly, that's how Sean Diddy Combs' own lawyers describe the billionaire music mogul, currently facing serious trafficking charges in a New York court.
And let's not forget the cryptic clues that now seem to take on a new meaning. Remember those clips of Diddy looking noticeably gaunt in interviews, or the sudden cancellations of events due to exhaustion? Industry insiders are now pointing to these moments as potential signs of the truth bubbling beneath the surface. One former associate even claimed everyone in the inner circle knew something wasn't right, but no one dared to ask questions. As if this wasn't enough to send shockwaves through the industry, there's more. The timeline of events leading up to Young Miami's revelation coincides with the ongoing legal storm surrounding Diddy. His trial, already a media circus, has exposed allegations of human trafficking, racketeering, and coercion. The testimonies have been graphic, the evidence chilling. The jury has even been shown clips of what prosecutors are calling freak-offs, highly orchestrated, substance-fueled parties where power dynamics were exploited in the most disturbing ways. And now, with this new layer of scandal, the stakes have never been higher.
The centerpiece of a lot of what happened during direct testimony were freak-offs. And what the prosecution tried to show was that he forced and or coerced her into doing these freak-offs. And we've talked about this earlier this week, that at least my opinion is that in a lot of these, the prosecution just didn't close the loop. It was something she felt.
It's impossible to ignore the parallels between the allegations of manipulation and control in his trial and the accusations Young Miami has leveled against him. The power imbalance, the deceit, the lives forever altered. It's a pattern that's becoming harder to dismiss, and the public isn't just watching. They're demanding answers. How could someone who built his career on the image of success and celebration allegedly harbor such dark secrets? But the story doesn't end with Young Miami. As more details emerge, so do whispers of other potential victims. Could there be others who were unknowingly caught in this web of betrayal? And what does this mean for the women who have already come forward in his trial, sharing their own harrowing experiences? One thing is clear, this isn't just about one man's fall from grace. It's about the systemic abuse of power and the lengths to which some will go to protect their image. For now, the entertainment world is holding its breath, waiting for the next headline, the next revelation, the next piece of this horrifying puzzle. But one thing is certain, this isn't just about Young Miami's heartbreak. This might be one of the biggest scandals in the entertainment industry's history. And the deeper we dig, the darker it gets.
Referred to me as Wild King Nights. And what a Wild King Night was when him and a guest would go to a hotel room or be at his home, his bedroom, and they would have intimate gatherings. I would have to go and prep that hotel room, which consisted of baby oil, Astroglide.
What's emerging now is a picture of decadence gone horribly wrong. Those infamous freak-off parties, once whispered about in awe by industry insiders, have taken on a much darker meaning in the wake of these allegations. For years, they were seen as the ultimate backstage pass into Diddy's glamorous, untouchable world. Private jets would whisk attendees to secret locations, where the champagne flowed endlessly and the guest list read like the credits of a blockbuster film. But now, the details being revealed paint a chilling image of what those nights were really like. Rooms allegedly lined with mirrors and hidden cameras, dim lights bouncing off bottles of baby oil, and substances scattered like confetti on expensive furniture. And at the center of it all, Diddy, not just as a host, but as a self-proclaimed director, orchestrating every move like a twisted maestro. The real bombshell, though, is the claim that these parties weren't just about indulgence. They were about control. Prosecutors allege that cameras were deliberately placed to record everything, creating a catalog of footage that could later be used as leverage. The suggestion that some of the biggest names in Hollywood, music, and sports may have been caught on tape in compromising situations. If these rumors are true, it explains a lot about Diddy's long-standing power in the industry. How many careers might have been protected or destroyed because of what's on those recordings? And more importantly, how deep does this web of secrecy go?
It was like, wow, for Diddy? What? You know, that was a person that I looked up to, he was a mogul, and I listened to all the artists that he made superstars. And so to have a chance to be able to be signed to him, it was amazing. It was like, oh my God, I'm here. I finally did it.
The silence of those who attended these events is deafening. Industry veterans who once raved about Diddy's extravagant lifestyle are now nowhere to be found. But we have to ask ourselves, is it fear of public backlash keeping them quiet, or something far more sinister? Some insiders speculate that these tapes could implicate other A-listers, people who have managed to stay squeaky clean in the public eye until now. If these allegations are proven, it raises a terrifying question. Has Hollywood's elite been complicit in protecting one of its own at the expense of countless victims? And speaking of complicity, the role of Diddy's inner circle is coming under intense scrutiny. Over the years, his staff has been described as loyal to a fault, willing to do whatever it takes to maintain the empire he built. But recent court filings suggest that loyalty came at a steep price. Former assistants and bodyguards have been accused of procuring substances, recruiting participants for the parties, and even silencing those who dare to speak out. One of the most shocking details to emerge from the raid on Diddy's prison cell is a set of handwritten notes that prosecutors say are a blueprint for a larger conspiracy. Among the scribbled to-do lists was an instruction to a family member, find dirt on 2 of the alleged victims. If true, this could point to a calculated effort to discredit those brave enough to come forward.
They've been afraid of coming forward. They've been afraid of what he could potentially do to them within the industry, what he could do to them professionally, maybe even personally. And so yes, it's been a dark secret they've held on to for a very, very long time.
It's hard to believe that all of this could have gone on for so long without someone stepping in to stop it. And yet the evidence seems to suggest that a network of enablers worked tirelessly to keep the truth buried. From the former staffers who allegedly delivered cash payments to silence witnesses, To the executives who turned a blind eye to the rumors, it's becoming clear that this is more than just one man's scandal. Is a story about power, corruption, and the lengths people will go to protect their own interests. But what happens now? With the trial looming and more alleged victims finding the courage to speak out, the cracks in Diddy's empire are starting to show. The question is, who else might fall as the truth comes to light? Could we see other high-profile figures implicated in the coming months? And if so, what does this say about the entertainment industry as a whole? For years, Diddy was seen as untouchable, a kingmaker whose influence shaped careers and defined an era. Now, that same influence is under the microscope, and the revelations are forcing everyone to reevaluate just how much they're willing to overlook in the name of fame and fortune.
He cornered me. And then he asked me, with his arm up, he asked me, "How you doing?" I'm kind of like, wow, what the heck? Very uncomfortable. And then he rubbed his hand down my breast. He said, "If you need anything at all, you let me know."
If these accusations are true, the implications are staggering. It's not just about Diddy's alleged actions, it's about the culture of silence that allowed them to continue unchecked for so long. How many others have been complicit in this? And how many more victims are out there waiting for their stories to be heard? The entertainment world has faced scandals before, but this one feels different. It's not just a fall from grace, it's a reckoning, one that could change the way we view celebrity culture forever. For the victims, the emotional impact of Diddy's alleged behavior goes far beyond headlines and courtroom drama. It's about years, sometimes decades, of psychological scars that don't fade with time. Young Miami's allegations of betrayal and deception are just one layer of the pain. Imagine the weight of discovering that someone you once trusted with your life may have knowingly endangered it. And Cassie, whose lawsuit against Diddy was settled years ago, spoke of a relationship built on manipulation and violence. These women have described feeling trapped in a cycle of coercion, where the lines between glamour and abuse blurred so completely that escape seemed impossible. The courage it takes to step forward into the public eye, knowing the backlash and doubt they'll face, cannot be overstated.
I'm sorry, I'm just I'm in this moment right now. This is crazy. Sorry. People don't really know how much what it does to you when something that you love is taken from you and thrown away like it don't even matter, and then they move on with their lives and you're stuck. You're stuck. During those years, you're still stuck 21 years later.
But this isn't just about individual stories, it's about a pattern. The entertainment industry has long been a breeding ground for toxic power dynamics, where abusers hide behind the glittering facade of fame. Over the years, we've seen powerful figures accused of leveraging their influence to silence those who dare to speak out. From casting couches to coercive contracts, victims are often forced to choose between their careers and their dignity. In Diddy's case, the alleged use of blackmail, hidden recordings, and relentless intimidation only underscores how deeply embedded these dynamics are. This isn't just a personal tragedy for the women involved. It's a systemic problem that demands accountability. The long-term effects for those who've endured such betrayal are profound. Mental health experts often speak about the lasting toll of coercion, manipulation, and violence. Survivors frequently experience anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress, their sense of safety shattered by someone they once considered untouchable. For victims of celebrity power players like Diddy, there's an added layer of isolation, knowing that their abuser is not just a private figure but a public icon with legions of fans and limitless resources to discredit them. The battle isn't just in the courtroom, it's in the court of public opinion, where victims are often forced to relive their trauma just to be believed.
Two women who said that they had been abused, saying it happened decades ago, and they thought that they could look at the evidence in this case, which is about assault, and view it fair and unbiased based on what comes into the courtroom. And one woman who is proceeding said she was arrested when she was 16 for shoplifting at Harry Potter's World at Universal Studios. The judge asked her what she stole.
And then there's the question of how the industry at large contributes to this cycle of harm. For years, insiders have turned a blind eye to whispers about powerful figures like Diddy, assistants who procure substances, executives who cover up scandals, and publicists who spin stories into oblivion. They're all part of a larger machine designed to protect the image of the untouchable star. This culture of complicity enables abuse to thrive, leaving victims to fend for themselves. In the rare cases when someone does speak out, their bravery is met with institutional resistance, as if the mere act of exposing the truth threatens to bring the entire industry to its knees.
The judge is hopeful that that could be concluded as soon as Wednesday, with opening statements in the case beginning next week and then the beginning of the evidence. So Combs has pleaded not guilty. He has said, his lawyers have said, that all of these allegations are the prosecutors trying to criminalize his sexual activity that they say was entirely consensual.
Even more haunting is the silence that often greets these revelations. How many more stories like Cassie's and Young Miami's are waiting to be told? How many victims have chosen to endure their pain in silence, fearing retaliation or public humiliation? For every person who comes forward, there are countless others who remain in the shadows, weighed down by the stigma that society attaches to survivors. The entertainment industry's history is littered with these untold stories, a reminder of how power and privilege can shield the guilty while silencing the innocent. Yet in the face of all this, there's hope. The courage of those who have come forward is sparking a broader reckoning, one that's forcing both fans and industry insiders to look beyond the fame and fortune. It's a reminder that behind the glitz and glamour are real people with real pain who deserve to have their voices heard. If the allegations against Diddy prove anything, it's that even the most powerful figures are not above scrutiny. The tide is shifting, and with each new story, the walls of silence that have protected abusers for so long are beginning to crumble. Still, we have to ask ourselves, is the entertainment industry truly ready to face its demons? Or will it continue to prioritize profit over accountability, enabling cycles of abuse to persist? For the victims, justice isn't just about a guilty verdict or a financial settlement. It's about reclaiming their voices and their sense of self. It's about showing the world that no amount of power, influence, or wealth can erase the truth. Ultimately, this is about more than just Diddy. It's about the human cost of fame and the broken system that allowed his alleged behavior to go unchecked for so long. How many more lives need to be shattered before real change happens? And who will be brave enough to step forward next?
They saw evidence in the case. They immediately honed in on racketeering and they started saying, why is this racketeering with one guy? And they're charging this one guy. They had a real problem with that. They did not have a problem with the Mann Act. They found him guilty in the Mann Act. And they hung 6 to 6 on racketeering.
One thing is certain, this story is far from over. In fact, the darkest chapters may still be unwritten. What happens if those tapes are real and their contents come to light? What if the allegations against Diddy's inner circle lead to more arrests, more trials, and more shocking discoveries? And perhaps most chilling of all, what if this is just the tip of the iceberg? We want to know what you think. Could this scandal expose an even bigger conspiracy in Hollywood? And who else might be involved? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, stay tuned, because when it comes to this story, the truth might just be stranger than fiction.